I'm super excited to be sharing with you a few bonus episodes on the Your Rich Life podcast. And they come from a space of since I burnt my business down last year and restarted again in June of this year, which kind of deserves a whole podcast to itself. I can tell you hand on heart that the thing that's had the biggest change for me or created the biggest change for me is being a participant in a couple of group coaching programs. It is so incredibly powerful. And my question was, how can I bring that to you, my podcast listeners? And I decided to just go do it. So I've recorded several episodes where I'm coaching somebody one-to-one with their permission to go out on the podcast and on YouTube and my other channels, knowing that it will be beneficial to you. So as you sit back and listen to each episode, I want you, before you start, just to make the commitment to yourself that you will make this coaching yours, that you will take something from each session that you can use, implement to create change and transformation in your own life. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Sue, welcome to your hot seat. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling terrified, but grateful for being here.
Thank you so much. So just before we got on the call, I want to just share with the listeners what we were talking about. And that is, well, there's a couple of things. Number one is the primary reason why I'm doing these calls is that a lot of people don't understand what coaching is. And I want to kind of create awareness around that. A lot of people also avoid it because they don't want to be made out to be wrong. And I was just about to share with you, and I thought, we'll record it anyway, is that I have been on coaching calls where I have been asked a question and I've been felt like I've been put in a corner. And at the time, I really judged the coach for doing that and was like, she's a really bad coach. She doesn't know what she's doing, da 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 da. Actually, she totally knew what she was doing. And my response was out of that deep knowing that there was something going on. So coaching can be uncomfortable, but it's never from a space of me trying to ask questions to make you right or wrong. It's for you to discover that for yourself. And I want to just invite you and everybody listening that when you have that, however you feel that in your body or experiencing in your brain, like it's okay, we can go there. But also if it's not okay to go there in this session, you know, when I'm working with clients, there will be another session that will come up, right? So I want you to just be like really open about whatever comes up, whatever question I ask, whatever direction we're going, it is safe. You can't get it wrong, and you can always have a safe word if you really want. Let's have a safe word of elephant, shall we? That's quite a good safe word.
Elephant, I like it. I like it. My favorite animal.
Yes, isn't that interesting? So that's the thing, really, and just, you know, coaching isn't therapy. It's just a way for you to understand yourself more and get out of your own way. And what I found really interesting, Sue, before we got on, and some of you may feel the same, is that Sue was saying that she finds it quite hard to articulate how she feels. She can feel it deeply, but sometimes getting the words out is more challenging. That's just different ways that we experience our own model of the world. Some people are very in their head and they can think the crap out of everything. But when I say to them, how does that feel in your body? They're like, I have no idea what you just said to me. Right? So we'll just be guided. And if that means asking questions about, like, if we could bring that feeling out and put it in your hand, like, what would it say to you? So, and I know you're open to that because we've spoken plenty of times in the past. Yeah. So we're going to do two steps first. We're going to get a little bit of, just give me like a synopsis, because we'll go deeper as and when we need to, of where you are. And then we're going to decide like what is going to be an outcome for you in the next 30 minutes that will make you feel like you've achieved something today. So first of all, just give us an overview of what you feel like you want coaching on.
Essentially, I am suffering right now with a little bit of lack of self-confidence, lack of self-belief. Mm-hmm. This manifests itself in various ways. So I know that a lot of this is born out of the perfectionist tendencies that I have. And when I'm feeling in this space that I'm in right now, it's kind of like I feel stuck. It's kind of like I don't know how to get out of it. And what that tends to do is lead to a little bit of anger and a little bit of apathy. So where, you know, I will, if I'm trying to work on something and I feel not confident about what it is that I'm doing, even though I know I should be, and you know, this is where here we're using the word should again, where possibly we shouldn't be. The perfectionist trait comes out. I want to get this right. I want to get this perfect. And if I don't feel that I am achieving that, my own self-imposed level of perfection around this thing, yes, I get angry, but I also, the apathy kicks in, and I will give up on it, because, you know, what is the point if I can't get it right from the outset? Then why am I even bothering at all? So that's kind of where I'm finding myself right now. So, you know, I go through this.
Sorry, I can feel like your heart is going 10 to the dozen, because my heart wants to be out of my chest right now. Is that fair?
That is very fair.
Yeah. So just do me a favor. Just put your hand on your heart for just a moment and take a nice deep breath and just feel your feet really grounded into the earth. So, and if you want to just imagine like you've got some really beautiful roots growing out from your feet, just grounding you into Mother Nature, into Mother Earth. And I'm also going to just set the intention that your guides, healers, teachers are going to be with you, and they're going to just see if you can imagine and feel them stood behind you right now, just keeping you calm and also keeping you out of your head. Set the intention that they are going to guide your answers from your higher self, because your brain's just giving you bullshit. Okay, perfectly normal. So okay, the heartbeat is slowing down a little bit. So I want every time that you feel like your heart's starting to race again, just touch your heart again. You can do it while we're talking and just bring yourself back. So in terms of outcome, remember we've got about 30 minutes. But listen, miracles can happen in 30 minutes. It only takes one shift of perspective to shift things like on a quantum level for you. What would you need to experience either on the call, or what would you need to feel or understand or gain from this call to make you go like, I got it, that was 30 minutes worth of my time?
That's a very interesting question. And I can't say I have the answer for that question right now, because right now, I don't know what that looks like for me. I don't know what that feels like for me. But what I do know, Louise, is just being with somebody, a coach, who can give me a few shifts in perspective, can give me a few words of advice, can give me a few action items to take away, to think on, because, you know, I know that we're going to go through the session. I probably won't be able to, I might find it difficult to come up with an answer, and that will frustrate me. Yes, of course it will. But at the same time, just this whole experience is going to be very useful, because I don't have to have the answers right now. What I need is the sparks that will come.
Okay, so I'm just putting down the word impetus because it's my word of the week, or word du jour, take your pick, because I love that word. But also I'm gonna just pull a few bits out there, right? Because if you got in your car this evening and started to drive, but you didn't know where you were going, how could you plan your route?
Google Maps.
But you've got to put a destination into Google Maps.
Oh, I see where you're coming from.
Right. And is it fair to consider the fact that it is a choice to not know a small outcome, because then you don't have to take action towards it?
Not really understanding the question.
Okay, so when you're in this space, right, where that you don't want to be in, and I said to you, what outcome would you need today? And you was like, you don't know. I wasn't asking you like what you want your next 5-year plan to be like what just needs to happen in the next 30 minutes. Because when we don't give our brain that direction, we're almost playing out a story like, I want to stay in this stuckness because I don't know what it looks like. And so it could, and I'm not putting an answer into your mouth, and we don't have to go there, but I'm just seeing how your story is I can see that they're showing me like a picture of, you know, when you go and you see a rock face and you see all the strata of all the years, they're showing me that. So what I'm hearing from you is like how you've layered this story up and I'm going to just come out of them and say what they're giving me now. It's like all these stories are just here because they keep you in this little box.
There is probably a lot of truth in that statement.
Okay, so when we talk about like, even if you said to me right now, if I said to you, if you said to me, you was agoraphobic, and I was like, what could you do? And you went, I just need to get out the front door. That's it.
Yes.
So right now it could have been, I would like to feel courageous. I would like to be able to breathe. Because we want to direct our mind from the off. But I'm going to go with what you said, because we can do action steps, we can do some tips. And I said to you that the coaching will take you wherever it needs to go. Right? So we can be okay with that. But I want you to just hold that thought that that's one layer of your story where you make the choice not to pick the direction.
Gotcha.
Makes sense? I'm going to write that down for myself as well. Do you want to ask a question on that? I'm just looking at no, does that
No. Actually, what I was thinking was when I said before I didn't understand the question, when you asked me to get into the car and drive.
Yep.
I don't know how relevant this is, but you know, in my mind, what an adventure that would be. just to get into your car and just drive without a destination.
So that doesn't sound like a very perfect plan to me.
It doesn't sound like a perfect plan, no.
And there is this someone who tells me that her identity is eternal perfectionist. So where are you lying to me?
I don't believe I am. Can this not be another facet to my character? I am an adventurer.
I think this is picking and choosing. Which is also fine, but even that awareness now, the clocks are going, or the wheels are going around in your brain, and you're going, holy blah 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 blah, little beep words at me, because you can choose to have the same energy around your business. You are allowed, and it will work. Right? You don't need to have the whole plan. But one of the things that you talked about as well was, and you pulled yourself up on saying the word should, but I should feel more confident. Right? Now, you know from working with me many years ago that courage is the mother of confidence. We don't just get confident. You can't be confident if you were going to go and do your first ever bungee jump. You're not confident in it. You're courageous because you're going to do it. If you did 20, you'd be like, yeah, not a problem, right? Because you've done that many.
Yeah.
We have to act in courage consistently to become competent. Then we're competent, and then we're confident. So I want you to hold on to that thought that courage is actually what you're looking for. How does that feel?
That feels good.
Yeah. So what I'm interested in now is that you told me that the lack of self-confidence and the belief is basically keeping you stuck, because you tell yourself you don't know how to get out, and then you tell yourself this story about perfectionism, and that's really your answer for staying where you are. So what are you not doing that you need to be doing when you're in that thought pattern?
That's a good question. I just want to say I don't know.
Okay, so but the fact that you're telling me that the perfectionism is stopping you from doing something tells me that you know that you should be doing something, but you're not doing it. So therefore, somewhere in your brain, you know that there is a series or one or two things that you should be doing, but you're not doing them.
Well, I guess the real simple answer to that is just do it anyway. Okay. And I suppose that goes back to acting in courage.
Yeah.
So, letting go of consequences, letting go of potential criticism, potential judgments, potentially anything that I would consider to be bad, I suppose.
Excellent. Okay, so just for the listeners or the watchers on YouTube, just to clarify, we're specific. Maybe I'm getting the wrong end of the stick, but we're talking specifically about your business, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So that's why I asked you, what are you not doing? So can I just put a blanket over it and say you're not doing anything to grow your business when you're in this state? Is that right?
That's very true. Yes.
Okay. So you do know what you're not doing then?
Yes.
Right. And so again, for people listening, your brain will always want to offer you don't know, because we don't have to go there. But it's my job to take you there and actually see that when you get inside that room, it's not as big and scary as you thought it was. And actually there is a step out of the other side, like very, very quickly.
Yes. And I think a lot of the problem, Louise, is, and I don't know if it's just me, is you are forcing me to admit that I am not taking action.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think that's the thing. That's one of the things that actually stings quite badly.
Yeah, of course it does, because guess what? It's the big PR word, personal responsibility. One of my mentors now, every single day, pretty much, he'll say, you are where your attention is. What you created in your life is where your attention is all the time. So when our attention is in lack, like small business owners, lack of money, lack of clients, lack of time, lack of resources. When our attention is in, oh my goodness, what if someone judges me, criticizes me, doesn't buy from me, blah, blah, blah. That is what we're creating. We're creating a space where we don't let ourselves get any of that. But what are we not getting as well? We're not getting to help people. We're not getting to create financial freedom. We're being freaking miserable, and we're trying to find ways to justify it.
Yes.
So, and I want to just go to the anger part a little bit for you. What do you gain by choosing to be angry about your lack of taking action?
Nothing. 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 I don't gain anything from it at all. I lose.
What do you lose?
I lose momentum. I lose clarity. I lose a vision. I lose just everything that I need goes out the window because.
And also, when you lose that, you're also gaining because you're not putting yourself out there in the world where you might get criticized, judged, and experience that emotional discomfort that you're trying to avoid.
True.
So anytime
that's a real oxymoron.
Isn't it? Anytime we are seeing the same pattern of results and behaviors in our life that we say we don't want, we are always gaining. Always. Otherwise we wouldn't keep doing it. So I know what your business is involved around, and if you was to speak to somebody and if you said to them, what do you gain by sitting on your sofa every night watching Netflix and eating Chinese takeaway or ordering from Uber Eats, and they go, nothing, I feel like crap and I hate my life and I hate my body. But they love the comfort of not having to go to a gym and be looked at in their leggings with what they think is a disgusting body. Or maybe their partner tells them that they love them like that, and they're worried that their partner might leave them if they lose weight? Or what if they've got a disability badge, and if they lose weight and they get fit, they lose the disability benefits? Like, there's so many that we're always gaining from something. And sometimes we have to do a little bit of digger deeping. Sometimes it's about like being looked after. I was talking to somebody earlier on, and they were like, oh my God, I've just realized that if I stay in this place that I really, really don't want to be in, and it makes me really, really cross, I will always be looked after. And if I succeed, then I won't. So who's suffering for you? I'm going to just come out and say this. Sorry, not sorry. Who's suffering for you being like a petulant little child and choosing anger and apathy and not serving the people that need you? Who's suffering because of that?
The people that need me.
And how do you think they're feeling? Like when they're stuck and they're looking for somebody and they don't know, they think they're not understood.
Gosh. This is why I come to coaching.
I feel a little bit emotional right now. I feel like I could have a little bit of a weep. My eyes are really watering. But here's the thing, right? We can't show up and serve other people unless we're willing to feel all those really uncomfortable emotions for ourselves. So you going through the journey that you've had, this is just another avenue of your journey. This is just another avenue where you can, in another 6 months' time, when you've taken some action, say, look, I got this far, but when I had to come and talk about my story, when I had to go on social media, I stepped back into the person that I was before, and I recognized that, and this girl kicked my ass. I call myself a girl, should say woman. And that's just another part. What I want to invite you to see for everybody as well is when you've had issues where you don't believe in yourself. Let's talk about lack of self-worth, because most of us have experienced it or do experience it.
Yeah.
It comes in so many waves. So for me, I had weight issues for nearly 20 years, body weight issues, and then I went into crappy relationships. And then my lack of self-worth showed up in abusing my body with alcohol and smoking a lot of very naughty cigarettes. And then it was, undercharging my business. And then it just keeps coming and coming. And there will always be another way for your brain to present you with this underlying thing if we don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we have to say, what's more important? Is it more important to keep getting angry at something that I'm doing to myself? Or is it more important for me to go like, how do I act in more courage? What do I need to think about myself so that the emotional discomfort is something that I just expect and I can travel through so that I can serve these people that need me?
I suppose really that the first step is for me to go ahead and experience that discomfort that I've been so scared.
I remember, Sue, my goodness, I don't know how many years ago this was, when you stood outside and did a live on your page, on your Facebook page, and you set fire to stuff. Was that?
Yes.
How many years ago was that?
Oh my God, that's got to be 5 years ago now? No, four or five. Definitely 4 or 5.
Okay, so what I want to offer you is, and this is something that one of my coach said to me, I was just watching a replay today, and he said, I can teach you, but I cannot make you learn. We can only learn by immersing ourselves in what we're being taught. So when it's like we can read a book and go, oh my God, I've read the most amazing book and I've got all these awarenesses. And then we put the book on the shelf and we go back to being who we've always been. We can't change our life if we keep showing up as the person that we were yesterday. We have to be willing to think differently, show up differently, and then act differently. So you could do the same action. Like if you were taking action in your business, let's just say, for instance, you were doing things in your business right now, You could still do those things, but you could show up as a different identity, a different person doing those things, and that alone will change the outcome. So if you got onto a Facebook Live and you're like, hi, my name's Sue and I'm here to help you, like, right? First of all, I would whip your ass. But second of all, like, the intention behind that video is, I'm doing this because my coach told me to, but I'm really, really scared and I'm not being my true authentic self. Whereas if you come on the video and you was like, oh my God, I'm not going to lie, peeps, like, I'm really crapping myself, but what my coach helped me to realize was this was another way that my lack of self-worth is showing up. And I don't want to be that person. So I'm doing it because I want to serve you. Feel the difference in the intention behind the video. Right? So I did a TikTok yesterday and I had quite a lot of likes on it and some comments, and I had one comment was, I think you're vibrating in anger, because it was about how can we vibrate in abundance if we don't see it. So some person decided to say that I was vibrating in anger. I was like, okay, whatever. I think I just replied interesting. And then somebody else told me that no one chooses to be sad. It's from a bad childhood, and I was just regurgitating toxic crap from all the positive thinking people. Right? And 2 years ago, that would have destroyed me. This morning, I'm like, okay, because I believe in my message, and I'm always willing to be wrong. If someone can provide, like, I'm willing to be wrong, but I'm not willing to let somebody else's opinion of me change the way I feel about myself.
Sure.
Right? So what I'd love to do, so we've talked about courage, and I want to just touch on the perfectionism thing quickly, because this gets so many people by the short and curlies, and it's absolute BS. It is a made up word, right? It's a construct of our mind that you might as well just call it a safety box. Let's just call perfectionism a safety box, because that's all it is. Because it's subjective. Your definition of perfectionism is not mine, and it's not your client's. And all the time that you're sitting there thinking, and I don't know how it's showing up for you, but like, oh, the live has to be perfectly curated and my branding has to look amazing and blah, 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 all this kind of BS. There's all these other people sitting there thinking, I wish someone would just talk to me in actual human language because I feel really shit about myself and I want someone to help me.
Oh my God.
And the people that do want the perfectionism, they will find their perfectionist, but they will vibrate towards who they want to vibrate to. You're going to have your own community of people that love you for you and want you to help them. But you've got to be a leader. You have to, if you're in business, you have to be a leader because you're leading people. And guess what? You can practice that. You don't have to wake up tomorrow and be a Roman warrior. Although you totally could. Athena, goddess of war, that's who I like to be, but she was very silently powerful. But anyway, so the perfectionism is just another layer of your story that keeps you in your safety box. Because look at I'm sure we've had this conversation before, your face lit up when you talked about taking an adventure. So why can't you feel like your business is an adventure in your body?
Because it's scary.
Okay, so why is it not scary to go into a car or a van and not know where you're going? Why is that not scary?
Because doing that, the consequence of doing that is not as important to me as my business.
But if your business was as important to you as you say it is, why have you not taken more action towards it? Because it sounds to me like what's more important is what other people are going to think.
Yes, and yes.
Yes and yes.
Yeah, well, no, it's true. It's true. So sorry, my screen is very well.
That's fine.
So I guess what I'm saying is that I don't take action where my business is concerned. because the outcome is so important that I feel that the actions that I have to take must be right.
But if the outcome, no, listen, if the, sorry to interrupt, but if the outcome was that important, you would understand that not taking action creates no outcome. So the outcome can't be important.
And this is where we keep going round and round in circles. This creates the anger, this creates the apathy.
No, what's creating the anger and the apathy, excuse me for being blunt, is that you're telling yourself that the outcome is important. You're getting frustrated with yourself because you're not seeing yourself commit and not being like integral with your word and letting yourself down, because it's not that the outcome is important, it's what you're trying to avoid that is controlling your commitment. When you're driving in your car, if you get 100 miles down the road and you run out of fuel, no one's going to give a shit. You can walk to the nearest petrol station, you can camp in your car, you can flag someone down. When you go and do that first launch and it doesn't sell, or you do that live and someone goes, who the hell are you to do that? That's what's creating the outcome, is the commitment to the stories of fear rather than the commitment to the outcome that you say you want in your business.
But so how do you disassociate the two? How do you disassociate the fear from the outcome?
Well, what makes you think you have to?
Pardon?
Why do you have to? Can you be a little bit scared and still take action?
Yes.
And how do you think you become acclimatized to fear?
By experiencing it over and over and over again.
And when you realize and you sit in the space that fear is just my overarching desire to not be emotionally uncomfortable, and you get your higher self on board and she goes, are you shitting me? You're not doing this because you're going to have a little cry because somebody says, who do you think you are? Or somebody doesn't buy your product. Like, you're bigger and better than that.
Yes, and now I'm beginning to question where exactly my fear is coming from, because quite frankly, I don't give a flying fig who likes my stuff and who doesn't. I don't give a flying fig if somebody puts an adverse comment on a social media post or video that I do. That doesn't bother me because their opinions do not matter to me.
Okay, so does your opinion matter to you?
My opinion matters to me, yes.
Do you think you're the expert?
On me?
On what you're selling?
Yes.
Do you believe in the product that you're selling?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe that you're worthy of success?
Yes, I do.
And are you happy to be seen in the public eye?
No, I'm scared.
There you go. And listen, for everyone listening, we can experience an emotion and not have to find out where it comes from, do some kind of brain work on it, have a few months of therapy and then take action. We can just be like, ooh, I'm a little bit scared about this. And in that moment, we get to make the choice. Do I act from the fear, or do I choose to be the person that acts in courage? It's a moment by moment choice. That's how change happens. And if you, like I said, if you want to experience something different in your life, you have to be different. So the version of you, and I'm going to call her the past version of you, the past version of you that's always given into the fear, no matter what it was, will get angry, will be apathetic, will try and find the reason, will try and find the story. But the only result that comes from that is not taking action in the business that serves the people that you want to serve. And they're all still looking for you. When we choose to take action every day, one little step at a time, because we can build on it, one little step at a time, we're doing two things. We're reinforcing our new identity with action, and we're reprogramming our brain with action and saying different things to ourselves. That's the only way we're going to learn where we need to keep pushing our barriers. Period. But the most important thing I think you said to me tonight was that the outcome of your business is too important to you. Now you have to match that statement with your actions. Because if you're not taking action, you're lying to yourself about that outcome. Because there is no outcome when you're not taking action. So let's just imagine that we've got your business. What's a result that you'd like to see in your business, like in the next, say, 3 months? It doesn't have to be financial. Like you can pick any goal you want, but what is something you would like to see happen in your business within the next 3 months?
I would like to get a couple more one-to-one clients.
In 3 months, you want 2 more one-to-ones, or would you like more than that? How many people would you love to serve in the next 12 weeks?
And then it depends how you define serve.
How many women do you want to help release them from the prison of their body image and how much they hate themselves?
Thousands.
Okay.
Thousands.
So if you're going for one-to-one clients, how many is doable for you in 12 weeks?
I could very, very, very easily take on another 2. Any more than that would be a bit of a stretch with my current clients.
Okay. I want you to just when we get off this call, I want you to ask yourself, is that actually true? And I want you to find out like what's behind that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not saying it is or is not true, but it may just be another layer, right? So we want 2 new clients in the next 3 months. And one of the feelings that we've talked about that you need to have around that is courage, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Give me one more thing that you need to feel in your body that means that you are going to be the person that goes out and attracts and serve these 2 women. What's another feeling that you need to adopt?
Do you know, I need to bring back my inner warrior. I call her Maya.
So Maya needs to come back into the room. Okay.
Yes.
Love that. Love her name. And give me one thought that you could act from every day. Like imagine that this, you know, when you get the picture of the donkey and the carrot.
Yes.
I want you to imagine that this thought is in front of you and you act from that thought every day. A thought that's going to make you feel like Maya. It's going to make you feel courageous. What is a thought you need to have? And it can be about you. It can be about the world. It could be about money. It could be about your clients. It could be about your product. It could be about anything. But a thought that demands the highest of you.
Honestly, you put me on the spot. I can't think of one right now.
Well, I'm not going until you give me one.
Oh no, man.
This is where, can you notice how you're just letting yourself go straight into, even though you're very feely, you go straight into trying to think of the right answer. This is where you're perfect. It can literally be, I will do whatever it takes. It could be, I'm really good at what I do. It could be, there are 10 clients waiting for me. It could be, I'm resilient. It could be, you know, I'm a mofo. Like I don't care what it is. And you can change it when you got this call, but I want you to start recognizing that the thoughts that you choose create the emotions that you feel. So if you want to feel courageous and you want to, what would Maya say to you? What would Maya be saying to herself when she's standing there like a warrior? What is she telling herself about herself?
Okay, so I am going with I am in the process of building a business I love. No?
You didn't say that with a lot of conviction, did you? It doesn't sound very warrior-ish. When you listen to this back, I am in the process of building a business I love. What? I am in the process of, is that it? Like, listen, I'm gonna give you a permission slip now to be really freaking powerful and to be really, it's a word begins with G and I can't think the word is, like really gregarious with what you're putting out into the world. You don't need to be loud, but you don't need to be like a mouse either.
Okay, so no, listen here. You asked me to come up with something.
Yes.
You saw the thought process going on in my head.
Yes.
Which is why it never came out powerfully. Because
so
it
now,
was
right. So
being
now saying to me
constructed.
through, okay. So now, because I know you've already said you're a feely person, tell me that and let me see it and feel it in your body.
You want my acting skills, right?
I just want to know that when you say this to yourself in the morning, that is activating the words.
For sure, for sure. So yes, I am in the process of building a business that I love, and that is the truth.
Good. Okay. And I'm going to challenge you that within 4 weeks you won't have in the process of, and it is just I am building a business I love.
Of course. But you know,
Only slowly catchy monkey.
I am is a little bit right now, a little bit too far for me, right? So I am in the process of.
But
yes,
hang on a minute. What makes if you're taking action, and we are going to wrap it up in a minute, but if you're taking action every day on building a business, why are you not just saying I am building a business? Because that's exactly what you're doing. Why are you not giving yourself permission to say that? What's the difference?
Again, I am having difficulty getting out the feeling,
Okay.
right? So listen, I have, for personal reasons, completely stepped away from my business in the last 6 months or so, right? Now I start to come back into it. I find myself in this space, which we have been talking about today, right? For me to say right now, no, man.
Which version of yourself?
I am in the process of.
But which version? We're talking about creating an identity of somebody that pulls you towards your dream, right?
I know. And now that I'm saying all of this stuff now, and I can hear the bullshit.
So when you say, because listen, the current version of yourself might say it's bullshit, but we're not thinking about who you are. We're thinking about the future version of you that you are going to act from. So when you think about the two identities, the identity that says I'm in the process of building my business versus the version of you that says I am building my business, which one will demand more from you?
The latter.
Right. So that, even though that thought feels challenging, that's the whole point. If we choose a thought that's at our current level of consciousness, we won't create the change. The stretch starts in the thought. Ooh, I need to write that down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense, actually.
The stretch starts in the thought. Because then when you're deciding to be in integrity with how you're showing up and you say, okay, I'm building a business that I love. How is that version of myself going to show up today? She's showing up believing that's what she's doing. She's showing up believing in her service. She's showing up and she doesn't expect it to be a smooth road. She's willing to experience it, but that's it. And that is far more powerful than coming from I'm in the process of, because that's your level of belief. And if we act in our current level of belief, how do we ever activate a high level of belief? So will you be willing to at least try that hat on and just notice it demands more from you, but that's exactly what you need?
Yes.
Thank you. And then from that space of thought, can you just identify, even because I know I've put you through the mill a little bit, can you even identify just one action that you're going to start taking in your business that you've been putting off?
Let's get visible.
Let's get visible.
That's exactly in my head as well.
So what I want you to do is I want you to message me by the end of the week and tell me exactly what that looks like.
Okay.
Because our brain will not function on, that's like saying, I just want to be happy. I just want to lose a bit of weight. I just want to. Our brain needs that direction. So I want to know specifically what that looks like. And to make that even more powerful for you, I want you to think about making sure you do that with the intention of being the courageous Maya, with that thought that you're building your business. And overarching all of that is, I am serving somebody. I am helping somebody to get out of the hole that I was in. Because when we're in that space where we don't want to do the hard stuff, like I've got a launch coming up at the end of the year. As you know, I took a lot of time out when my dad died, and I'm having all kinds of kittens about doing this launch because it's been such a long time. And I'm like, but so what? It is what it is. I just want to show up and serve people. I love coaching, and I could do it all day, every day. So why would I not do that? Because of some worry that it might not work, or that my branding's going to look crap, or that people are going to troll me on TikTok, blah, blah. So how do you feel now moving forward with what we've discussed today?
Look, Louise, I think I don't think that you've given me as hard a time today as I was expecting. So for that, I'm grateful. But no, look, for me, even though I find it difficult to admit all of this, to get this all out of myself into a public domain, I am just grateful for your input. I'm grateful. I mean, yeah, you did kick my ass a little bit.
Just today. A little bit. I only put my little shoes on today.
Yeah, and it's exactly what I need.
Perfect. And listen, here's just to help you like get out of that mind drama. What if your next step, literally for the next few days, was just writing down 10 or 20 lessons that you have had from your own, 10 lessons that you learned in your own journey about yourself, about weight, about food, like just 10 simple lessons. And then cast your mind back over the last 6 months and think of 10 things that happened that you can relate back to that journey. So I'll give you an example. You know, even though I don't practice personal training anymore, fitness is still like a massive part of my life. And, you know, I was thinking the other day about, you know, I'd convinced myself that that my watch was broken because my heart rate wasn't going up. And I was saying to my husband, like, I've got to buy me a new watch. And then I was like, oh, I'll tell you what I'll do. Next week, I'll just do somebody else's exercise thing off of YouTube. And my bloody heart rate went through the roof because I wasn't pushing myself hard enough. I'd got to a state of comfortableness. And I thought because I was breathing hard that I was doing enough, and wondering why my body didn't change. So if I was going to talk about coaching, how I relate that to coaching is that so many people are stuck in their own level of discomfort that they think they're making a change, and they're not. They don't even know what that discomfort feels like because they're in the discomfort of being unfulfilled. Why not choose the discomfort of growth instead? But you've got to be different to do that. So if you go through the last 6 months with all the things that you've been experiencing, you will find many lessons that you can relate back to what that's like. How many posts do you think you could get? Like, well, you got 20 there from off the bat, but you might get 40 out of that because you might, as you write it, you might realize actually there's more to that. And then they can be lives, and then they can be Instas, and then they can be Facebooks, and they can whatever you want them. And then we just make it easy.
Okay.
Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, as my friend used to say. Right. So do you feel like it's complete? Do you feel like you've got some courage, and do you feel like you've got some clarity?
I have more clarity for sure. The courage, Maya is coming out, and I feel a lot more willing to take the next steps. Good. And I'm going to wrap it up, and for anybody that is listening, and just remind you that everything is a moment by moment decision. Every choice you make is a choice to keep rehashing old, crappy, outdated stories, or it's a choice to create a future that excites you, inspires you, and serves other people. Period. There isn't anything else. And the other thing, just on the same note, is that your brain won't want to be your friend on this. So don't expect your brain to be happy about it. Don't expect your brain to get you up in the morning and go, right, Sue, let's go. Your brain won't do that.
You have to use your will, you have to use your vision and your passion to make your brain your bitch, period. Otherwise, your brain will squeeze every ounce of passion out of you with fear.
Yeah, don't I know that?
Yeah, right? So the way I do it for myself now, I'm having a bit of a moment. I imagine like unzipping my head, putting my brain on the table. Then I imagine doing the same thing to Tony Robbins, which is probably a little bit weird. And I'm like, our brains are the same. Tony Robbins' brain is the same as my brain. The only difference is the soul, the passion, the vision that's driving them. That's it. We've all got the same brain. Everybody you admire has the same brain as you. They're just acting in courage and letting things unravel and unfold. Oh, I've just loved this session. Right, your cards. Your first card is a card of innocence. And it talks to you about you can go into this with childlike energy. It doesn't mean that you're going to be like, it's not about being silly, but it's about like we can be more innocent with what might happen. You know when you said about the adventure, like I can watch it unraveling. That's the thing with the innocence card. You get to choose that. You get to choose to be curious. You get to choose whether you make something mean like something that feels bad or whether you can choose to learn from it. But what would change for you if you went in with that childlike innocence of like, ooh, what could happen here today? It's very different energy. Then we've got healing, and it's just confirm what you said. It's like this is a big process of healing for you as well. It's just another step in your journey. Another step in your journey is going to help other people, because when they get to that stage and they get to where they want, they might experience it again in another way. Maybe their relationships change, or they decide they want to change their career, and you're like, oh, I can help you with that. Because I too went through all these layers, right? So let your own healing be part of this process. Don't let the need for healing be the reason you don't do it.
Gotcha.
And then you've got, and these are big emotion cards. And then you've got the card of receptivity. And the receptivity card is just like here, you're here. It's like be open your heart, let the energy come through you, channel the higher self, like be connected to the truth, not what your brain's offering. That's just programming. And be willing to speak to your heart and let everything just come through you. Right, so they're really, really good cards. But I think the healing one's probably most important. Is like, don't let the fact that you feel like you're not, oh my God, in the right headspace be the reason you don't take action, because that's just crap. Right, now I'm hungry, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you for your willingness. Thank you for just showing up, because I know that it will be relevant to a lot of other people when it comes to confidence and courage and what people think in your business. And also I think just giving ourselves permission to take action and don't get so caught up in the timeline or how it must look. Let's get our wheels going first, so we've got that courage, and then we can start adding on. Okay, my friend?
Message received and understood.
Well, have a very pleasant evening, and I'm just super grateful that you was willing to go there with me today.
And I'm super grateful that you've given me the opportunity to get some shit out. So thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for listening to this special episode of the Your Rich Life podcast. Be sure to look out for the next one that is coming soon. And if you want to find out just how powerful questions can be to help you completely transform your life, please make sure you head over to www.louisecartwright.com and download your self-coaching card deck now. And I will speak to you again in the next episode of the Your Rich Life podcast.